All right, rugby fans, welcome back for another deep dive. This one's for all you folks who love the international rugby scene.
Definitely some big matchups lately.
Huge. We got to talk about England's final match of the Autumn Nations series against Japan at Twickenham.
Ah, yes. Back on Eddie Jones's old stomping ground.
Exactly. That adds a whole other layer of intrigue to this one.
Facing the old team always brings extra spice.
For sure. But honestly, what makes this match really interesting is that England went in on a 5-game losing streak.
Oof. 5 straight losses. That's rough for any team, let alone a powerhouse like England.
Yeah, the pressure was on. Could they turn things around against Jones's Japan? Let's dive in.
Let's do it.
Well, you could definitely feel that tension in the first few minutes.
Yeah.
Both sides were kind of sizing each other up.
Feeling out the opponent.
Right, but then it's like someone flipped a switch. England came alive.
Oh, yeah.
5 tries in the first half. It was a scoring frenzy.
England fans must have been going wild.
Absolutely. Ben Earl got things started with a beautiful try after a silky smooth pass from Marcus Smith.
Smith's playmaking was top-notch that whole game.
Oh, yeah. He was pulling the strings. And then you had Jamie George, the captain, leading by example.
2 tries for him, right?
Yep. Both from a powerful maul. England's maul was on point.
For those who might not be as familiar with rugby, a maul is when a group of players bind together and drive forward with the ball. It's like a mini scrum.
A mini scrum that can be incredibly effective when done right.
Absolutely. Especially near the try line.
And England showed they weren't just a one-trick pony. They had so much variety in their attack.
A multi-dimensional game plan is so crucial in modern rugby.
Couldn't agree more. Sam Underhill powered his way over the line for a classic try. And then Ollie Slightholm with some real opportunism, gathering his own grubber kick to score in the corner.
Grubber kicks are so unpredictable, they can really cause havoc in the defense.
And Slightholm read it perfectly. That's a heads-up play right there.
For sure. It shows he's thinking a step ahead of the defense.
Exactly. And on top of all that, Marcus Smith was kicking like a dream.
Ice in his veins. Seriously. He converted all 5 tries. Talk about adding insult to injury.
That kind of accuracy just puts even more pressure on the opponent.
It's a total momentum killer. Now, Japan did manage to get a try on the board against the run of play. Now, Saito's speed is something else.
Saito's always a threat. He can turn on the jets.
But even with that try by halftime, it was 35-7, England.
Wow. A 28-point lead at the half.
A dominant first half, for sure. So did they keep that momentum going in the second? We'll have to find out after the break. Stay tuned, rugby fans.
They did. They absolutely did. England didn't let up at all. They kept the pressure on in the second half.
Yeah, 4 more tries in the second half. That's incredible.
England was firing on all cylinders.
But it wasn't just about the points, you know? It was the way they were playing. That try by George Furbank, it was something else.
Oh, yeah.
Tommy Freeman with this outrageous behind-the-back pass to set him up. I mean, come on. That was pure magic.
Pure magic. That's the kind of play that gets the crowd on its feet.
Absolutely. It was straight out of a highlight reel. It speaks to the confidence England was playing with. They were willing to take risks, to try things they might not have even considered a few weeks ago.
Right. And it paid off big time. Do you think that kind of risk-taking, is that something they've been working on in training? Or was it more like they were just feeling it in the moment?
I think it's a bit of both. You can practice those skills in training all you want, but you need the right mindset to pull them off in a match. And against Japan, England had that swagger.
Yeah. They were playing with a certain freedom. And Luke Cowan Dickey, he had 2 more tries for England.
2 more. Wow.
Yep, both off the maul again, showing that England's forward pack was a force to be reckoned with.
Dominant in the set pieces.
And then you had Finn Smith coming off the bench, launching a perfect kick for Tom Roebuck to score in the corner.
Clinical finish.
It was a statement. It was like they were saying, we're back.
And remember, this was against a team coached by Eddie Jones, a guy who knows England's strengths and weaknesses better than almost anyone.
Right? That adds another layer to this victory. To put up 59 points against an Eddie Jones coach team, that's not easy.
Not at all. It shows that England is capable of playing at a very high level.
So let's talk about what this means for England going forward. They've had a rough patch, but this win has to be a huge confidence booster, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
A win like this can be a turning point. It shows the players what they're capable of when they play together as a team.
It's a reminder of their potential.
Exactly. The talent is there. The question is, can they build on this performance? Can they find that consistency that's been missing?
That's the big question. The Six Nations are just around the corner,
That'll be the real test.
facing teams like France, Ireland, Wales.
The best of the best.
Exactly. That'll show us if England is truly back, or if this was just a flash in the pan.
The Six Nations will be a good measuring stick for sure.
And of course, we can't forget about the British and Irish Lions tour later in the year. Eddie Jones will be back, coaching Australia.
Oh, wow. Talk about a rematch.
That's going to be must-watch rugby.
Jones will be looking for revenge.
And England will be out to prove they've moved on, that they're a force to be reckoned with.
Should be a fantastic series.
But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, we need to talk about Japan. They were clearly outmatched in this match. But what does this loss tell us about their development under Eddie Jones?
Well, it's tough to take too many positives from a loss like that. But it's hard to say, really. I mean, it's a tough one to judge. Japan's still in a rebuilding phase under Jones.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, Eddie Jones has a proven track record.
He's a world-class coach, no doubt about that.
But it takes time to build a team in your image.
Right.
He didn't turn England into world champions overnight.
Exactly. It's a process. And Japan is a very different team than England. Different strengths, different weaknesses.
And Japan was playing some really exciting rugby before Jones took over. You know, that high-tempo running game.
Yeah. They were a real threat to any team in the world.
So I'm curious, do you think Jones will try to incorporate some of those elements back into their game? Or is he going to completely overhaul their approach?
It's tough to say for sure. But knowing Jones, he's a pragmatist. He'll assess the players he has, figure out their strengths, and build a game plan around that.
That makes sense. He's all about adapting to the players he has,
Yeah.
which is what makes him such a great coach.
Exactly.
So for Japan, it's back to the drawing board. They have some more test matches coming up,
They do.
which will give them a chance to work on their game and build towards the next World Cup.
Yeah. These upcoming matches will be crucial for Japan. They need to use them to experiment, to try different combinations, and really develop their understanding of Jones's system.
So we've talked about what this match means for England and Japan. But let's zoom out a bit. What does this result tell us about the state of international rugby as a whole?
Well, I think it shows that the gap between the top teams and the chasing pack is closing. You know, we're seeing more and more teams playing an expansive attacking style of rugby.
It's a good point. It makes the game more exciting,
Yeah,
more unpredictable.
absolutely. And that unpredictability is what makes international rugby so captivating. Right. We're seeing upsets. We're seeing new teams emerge as contenders.
It's a great time to be a rugby fan.
Couldn't agree more. And with the Six Nations and the Lions tour just around the corner, there's so much to look forward to.
It's going to be an epic year of rugby, that's
Yeah.
for sure. Well, on that note, I think it's time for us to wrap up this deep dive.
That's good.
For all you rugby fanatics out there, keep those calendars marked for the Six Nations and the Lions tour. And until next time, keep diving deep.